Hey guys, I put together a Murloc deck that actually performed surprisingly well while climbing to top 25 PvP rating. This wasn't the only deck I used, but it definitely performed well and ended with a very positive win rate. We have a Mutinous, Murkai, and Varden opener. The reason I chose Varden over opening with a third Murloc is because he actually plays a very key role in speed manipulation, as well as freezing enemy mercs with his item. Both of these factors come together to create some very crucial tempo gain. I have Cookie, Cairn, and Diablo in the back. This has become a very common backline simply due to how strong Cairn and Diablo work together, as well as Cookie giving some extra health to all your mercs. Cookie also supplies some additional Murloc synergy in this deck, making him even stronger. Alright, let's get into some of these mercs. Old Murkai performs surprisingly well due to the Bubble Wand item pairing with his natural attack scaling from Finvasion. His attack consistently reached 25 or higher, making him a massive damage dealer and a big threat to casters. The reason why Mutinous is so strong with Murkai is because of his Earthern armor giving him additional stats, as well as his ability Devouring Attack. Between Murkai's Finvasion and Mutinous' Devouring Attack, you're able to deal 88 damage to a caster, resulting in a death blow from Mutinous on turn 1. These Murlocs have very good scaling potential for late game, between Murkai gaining +5 attack every turn, as well as Mutinous gaining some additional attack from his death blow. Varden is an extremely strong merc all around, having every ability be useful in certain situations, whether it be slowing down your opponent's mercs, death blowing to invalidate the opponent's entire turn, or Ice Lancing a merc you really don't want to deal with that turn. Chilling Amulet is in my opinion the best item by far on Varden, supplying some additional AoE as well as tempo with the freeze effect. As I said, we have a very standard backline being Cairn, Diablo, and Cookie. The reason why Cairn and Diablo are so good in this deck specifically is because they also work very well together with Varden. Cairn and Diablo become significantly stronger working with Varden to slow down or freeze your opponent's mercs as well. Let's get into some of these games so I can show you guys how these mercs work together. Alright, so in this first game we actually go up against a 4-fighter comp. I know this comp was popularized a while back to kind of counter some of those opening caster metas we were seeing. What we're really going to push here is Mutinous going for Scaly Taunt, trying to peel off some of the damage coming into Varden from these fighters, as well as keeping Old Murkai as healthy as possible because he's going to be scaling into the later game, getting 5 attack every turn, and we'll kind of see that pay off with how strong he gets into the mid and late game. Alright, so we're going to go for our taunt here. We're going to see Samuro double strike into the Mutinous, which is much better than seeing it go into Varden with a super effective damage. We're going to slow him down with Flurry, as well as get our Old Murkai starting to scale here, getting up to 16 attack, and it's just going to snowball from then on as long as he waits to deal with Old Murkai. Alright, so we go for our taunt here, we hit him with Old Murkai, continue that scaling. We're going to be able to kill Samuro before he acts. What I thought he was going to do was lower someone's attack with Tyrion to make that Old Murkai scaling kind of worse. But what he actually opts to do is go for the death blow, which may seem good, but honestly with Varden coming in with another Flurry next turn and just popping off those shields, it wasn't as good as it seemed to be. So we're going to see Varden pop these Divine Shields with Flurry into the Earth Stomp, dealing 20 damage to his fighter units, and we're going to pull really far ahead. You're just going to see Old Murkai continue to scale here. He's already going into 26 attack this turn. He's still full health. So the longer our opponent can't deal with this Old Murkai, he's really going to be in trouble. Alright, so here, yeah, we use the Flurry to pop the Divine Shields, come in with a Cairn Earth Stomp, dealing massive damage to these fighters. Old Murkai scaling a bit harder. We do see a Blessing of Kings come out, but honestly I'm not worried about this at all, because Old Murkai is just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, Old Murkai's already at 26 attack here. He did get the Blessing of Kings off on Gromosh, but I'm honestly not that worried. Alright, so we flurry down to pop the Divine Shield before we go in for the Finvasion, getting in our 31 damage. We see Kieran heal 28 HP because nobody has acted yet because of that synergy with Varden going on. And now we're just going to see Old Murkai continue to run away with this game. He's going to go into 36 attack this turn. We're going to get the double slow synergy down. Alright, so now we see Old Murkai just continuing to scale, getting up to 36 attack. We're going to see Earth Stomp really be effective here with the super effectiveness against fighters, taking out the Tyrion and the Voon in one turn. As you can see, Old Murkai's at 36 attack, going into 41 next turn. I'm just not sure how he can come back from here after letting Old Murkai get this close to just running away with the game. Alright, so at first I opted to Ice Lance the Sylvanas, which is usually a really good play because you stop it from doing the Reclaim Souls. But then I actually noticed that we had so much damage on Old Murkai, we were actually able to pull off a Deathblow Freeze here with the Varden, because he's going to hit in for 41, and then the Deathblow is going to deal 16 damage, so we're actually able to invalidate the Sylvanas turn this turn, as well as still having that Ice Lance available on the following turn to really make sure that we shut down this Reclaim Souls. Alright, so yeah, after a while of thinking, it took me a minute there, but I figured out the math behind this Chilling Blow to freeze out this Sylvanas, and then the following turn you're going to see me Ice Lance it to stall it for even an additional turn. And with shutting down his endgame win condition this hard, we have our Old Murkai at 41 attack. Like I said, he's just going to get in here and one-shot this Blink Fox. Because he didn't really have a way to deal with this Old Murkai early on in the game, with Mutinous taunting and kind of peeling some of that damage away from him as well as Varden, we really see him just come through here, getting up to 46 attack. Alright, so yeah, we come in with our 92 damage Finvasion here. Like I said, just blowing away those casters. This Old Murkai is such a threat later in the game. We went ahead and Ice Lanced the Sylvanas, stopped that Reclaim Souls. He doesn't really have much left to do from here. We still have 5 Mercs left, so yeah, not really coming back from that one. Old Murkai kind of just ran away with the whole thing. Alright, so in this second game here, we're going to be going against a Nature Comp variant. He's running Malfurion, Samuro, and Brucon opener. This has become more common simply because Wrath and Muddy Footing could be the same speed as Double Strike on Samuro, so you got some synergy going on there. What you're going to see is there's actually some form of mind games going on, because he assumes I'm going to taunt with the Mutinous, forcing him to choose between either targeting Varden or Mutinous with the Samuro. He opts to target the Mutinous, which is actually very good for us because we opted to attack. So a little bit of mind games going on there, and you're going to see how much damage this Murkai and Mutinous can deal to Brucon in the opener. Alright, so we're going to see him opt to target the Mutinous here with the Samuro. Like I said, I think that's because he assumed I was going to taunt with it, whereas I actually went for an attack, so this is going to turn out pretty beneficial for us with him not targeting Varden. I did do some miscalculation here, so there was a pretty decent misplay here. What I should have done is ordered the Flurry to go before the Mutinous Deathblow, and we would have gotten that extra attack by getting the final hit on Brucon, but I had some misordering there, so the Flurry ended up killing it off instead of the Mutinous. Alright, so the opponent opts to bring down the Cairn here. Almost always what happens after you kill the opening Merc from your opponent, they bring down the Cairn to try and get some of that speed manipulation going. Especially with Malfurion on the board, he's going to get some additional healing from that Earth Stomp. What we're going to want to do here is probably focus down the Samuro, because it's just going to keep scaling later into the game, getting that +2/+2 every time it attacks. I am going to go ahead and taunt up on Mutinous here, save some HP, because he's already going to be a force 2 attack with the Finvasion coming out from Murkai, so he's likely going to die anyways, and we still get that attack off with the Finvasion. Just go ahead and slow him down with Varden, try and get down the Samuro. Yeah, as you can see, so we actually live the Wrath and the Earth Stomp, whereas we wouldn't have if we didn't go for the taunt, and this actually leads us to getting an additional attack off with Mutinous before it dies. Alright, so we opt to bring in a Cairn of our own. Like I said, it's just usually the follow-up play. Getting that speed manipulation going on time is very important, especially when you're offset from your opponent's Cairn. Like, we're going to be able to Earth Stomp him this turn, and he won't be able to do it to us, so we're kind of setting up for next turn to have a blowout play, because we've already given up all the speed advantage for this turn. I do opt to go ahead and hit the Malfurion here instead of the Samuro, because I know the Samuro is already going to be taking 20 damage from Earth Stomp, so I want to try and set up an easier kill rather than throwing the Mutinous attack at it. We see a mirror image hit onto this Varden. It still does stay alive to get that flurry off, and now, like I said, we're going to have that speed advantage of us having the Earth Stomp the past turn, and that's really going to pay off here because we're going to get to Snap Freeze his Malfurion for the turn. Unfortunately, it is going to kill the Karen, so he is going to be able to get off his Earth Stomp because it's going to be a new body after the death. But we are going to stop the Malfurion from acting here as well as killing Samuro, so we're in a pretty good spot going forward. Alright, so he opts to bring down the Diablo. He does have that Earth Stomp speed. He's going to get in a big Fire Stomp, but like I said, we're just going to prepare to hit him back on the following turn because we get our Earth Stomp off, and he's going to use his Endurance Aura. So the following turn, we're really going to take advantage of that speed manipulation. We do see Old Murkai go down here, but as you can see, he got up to 31 attack again. Just pushing out super big amounts of damage. Alright, so like I said, we have the speed advantage here going forward. What we're actually going to end up opting to do is using the Fish ability on Cookie. It gives you an additional target for Diablo to Fire Stomp because it hasn't acted yet. So it actually deals a total of 30 damage instead of the normal 24 to non-caster mercs. So we're going to see that kill Karen as well as Malfurion, get some damage on Diablo, and it's just going to push us way ahead of this game. Alright, so we still got our Diablo up to 100 HP. It's really looking good, down to 2 mercs. I don't think he can come back from here. Yeah, he opts to concede there. So yeah, like I said, Old Murkai scaling often into the 30 attacks. It really just ramps up there and kind of starts to blow up some of these opponents' mercs, especially if they manage to have a caster on board. Another thing I did want to mention in this video is the rematch rate on ladder. I've experienced playing the same player back to back, or even up to 4 or 5 times in a row, when we both re-queue within a small amount of time. This leads to an interesting game of cat and mouse, with some players swapping between decks hoping to play their last opponent, knowing how high the rematch rates currently are. Unfortunately, people who do not have a bulk of their mercs maxed out, which is assumably a larger portion of the player base, don't have as many deck options going into these rematches, leaving them less likely to climb. I was able to beat some comps multiple times due to this, but also lost a handful of games in a row, rematching against unfavorable matchups, forcing me to switch decks. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I really appreciate the support you guys have been showing me. I'll definitely continue to make more of these Mercenaries videos as I come up with new decks for PvP. Peace.